Hi everyone. I am going to walk you today through how I break down my paycheck every single time I get paid. I use a regular notebook. It's just what works for me. I have used other beautiful planners and spreadsheets in the past, but they just did not have what works for me and my brain. I have ADD and I am supposed to be on medication, Adderall, but I don't like the side effects. And I'll get more into how I deal with everyday life while being ADD. Or some people call it ADHD. There's a little difference there, but I am not the hyper type. So we're starting with July. On this sheet, on this side of the spreadsheet, I write my month. Over here, I'm going to write down all of the allocations, how I spread my paycheck. So, Fidelity, it is my credit card where all of my fixed expenses come from. Capital One is, this is where all of my sons, he is 17 years old, and this is where all of his expenses come from. I just like to have them separate, just so I can keep track. Give him some freedom, but I do want to keep track of what he's spending. So I do not like to bundle all of that together with my fixed expenses. So Capital One, right over here, it is going to be my Bank of America, and this is my debt. Right over here, in this, I put $500 towards that every month. Right over here, it is our car loan, and the payment for that is $613 per month. But we are trying to knock this out, and I give more towards the car loan once I figure out how much money I can put extra towards it. Next, we have my student loan. And the payment for that is about $70, but I like to round it up to $100 just to knock it out a lot sooner. My mortgage is $1672. My life insurance that is $50 a month. Okay, I also have other things like my sinking funds, and I like to put money in those, so I do like to have my emergency fund. And I like to put $100 every paycheck, so I'm gonna put 4 boxes for that because I get paid, or we get paid every week, so that's gonna be per week. I am trying to give more towards mortgage principal. And I like to throw $50 there. Ideally, we're gonna start with once a month, so that's, I guess each little box represents how many times I'm paying towards that particular allocation. In this case, we're gonna start with doing $50 per month, but if I decided to do it per week, I would just add 3 more little boxes, so each box would be for each of the weeks that we get paid. And then investments. This right here, I actually do think that I've done my budget to where I can do $100 a week. So I'm going to put 4 little boxes there. So investments, $100 of that. So this week, our paycheck was $2,068.50. Okay, so I'm gonna leave all of this area so I can write down all of our 4 paychecks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just gonna draw a little separation there. It's just what works for me, and I do this every single week. So I keep track of all of our paychecks. So that's our paycheck for this week, and we're gonna start breaking down this paycheck. So over here is the date, and we are starting off with $2,068.50. So that is our beginning balance. Okay, $122 I pay off the Fidelity account every week. So this week we owe $122, and once you subtract this from that, your balance left over is $1,945.71. So that is your balance. Okay, so Fidelity, I come back over here and I check that off. This right here is supposed to be 4 little boxes. Okay, so our new balance is $1,945.71. Okay, I am going to do $100 towards our emergency fund. So $100 went to our emergency fund, and I check mark that. So our new total remaining balance is $1,845.70. That's our new balance. And see how this tells me exactly if I ever need to come back and check where my money went. This, I can easily tell what I started with, where the money went, in a short description. This right here, just at the end of the month, all of these little boxes should be checked off. So after we put our money into the emergency fund, our new total is $1,845.70. I am putting $500 towards our Bank of America, which is our debt. And I come back over here and I check that off. So our new balance is $1,345, and I put balance there. Okay, after we have our balance, I know I'm doing $100 towards my student loan. So I come back over here, and student loan is done for the month. After the student loan, our new balance is $1,245. That's our new balance. Then we're going to go in and do our life insurance. So I'm going to come back over here, and life insurance, $50 is done. Our new balance is $1,195. That's our balance. I am going to do $1,000 towards the car payment. So over here, it's $613, which is our regular payment, and then of course we can see that I threw $1,000. So I'm going to put here actual $1,000 this month. Okay, so after our car payment, our new balance is $195. It's our new balance. And if I look over here, the only thing left to pay would be this Capital One but that is actually not due because of the way the I guess the way the cycle, by the time it closes, is not until the 15th of the month, and we're only on the 3rd. So this resets every 15th of the month. Same thing with a Fidelity account, but I like to get ahead. I just like to pay that one every single week because all of our bills came out of there, and I just like to have it at zero every single month. So we have $195 left, and I am going to put that into one of my sinking funds, and this is going to be for short-term savings. Our Christmas comes out of there. If we ever need clothing, when we make purchases like that, we do have miscellaneous discretionary spending that we allow ourselves, and I'll get more into that in another video. But we do like to save a little bit out of every paycheck going into our discretionary or short savings account, short-term savings. So I'm going to put short-term savings, which is not the same as our emergency. So our emergency gets $100 out of every paycheck, and our short-term savings is getting a little bit more this particular paycheck, only because that's what was left over, and I'm just putting it there. So this keeps accumulating, and if I ever do want like a new vacuum cleaner, or a treat of some sort, or start saving up for maybe a short little vacation or an outing, it comes out of there. So we use this for for fun stuff, sometimes for things that are little luxuries in life. But the emergency fund is there for real emergencies, and that just keeps growing in a high yield savings account, so you can earn me a little bit of money while it's sitting there. This over here is in a savings account, but it's not high yield savings. I don't let too much sit there at one time. If it's sitting there if it goes past a certain threshold, I just transfer that into my emergency fund where it can collect more interest. So the balance for this paycheck is 0, and I like to know exactly where all of my money went. I like checking off my little boxes over here, so when I come back next week and I'm making room, usually the beginning of the month is going to be like my biggest square. As you can see, there's not much to check off over here on these little things, kind of, some minor things, but I have enough room for it over here with the next paycheck. And then as the month goes by, more little boxes get checked, then I can use a smaller space over here, and if I need to, I can use another page. And this is what works for me because I customize it. If I ever find different ideas and I find something interesting that I want to try, I can do so because this notebook lets me do that. I'm flexible. I like to learn as I evolve and I see new ideas and they sound interesting. They sound like they might work for me. But what I really like about a notebook like this is that it's evolving with me, and it gives me the flexibility. I can put as many tabs as I want. And if I don't like using the tabs, later down the road, I don't do them anymore. Whatever works for me and my brain. The reason why I don't like doing too many categories is because if it becomes too complicated for me, it just won't be something that I keep doing constantly and consistently. I become overwhelmed very easily. If you or somebody has ADD, you know that we don't have much of an attention span, and we need something that works fast and is going to keep us accountable. So if that's you, maybe my little channel is going to help you, get some ideas on how I'm dealing with my ADD. I like things very simple, almost like in systems, something that's fast, simple, effective, not too complicated, doesn't have too many, distractions, which is why I couldn't do all of the cute stickers. And I do have tons of stickers, but that's the main reason why I couldn't do an over decorated, pre-made template for budgeting. I had to figure out what works for me, so I am consistent. So that was the way I break down my 1st July paycheck, and I'll check back with you on another video so we can go and break down my next paycheck. Thank you. Bye.